CreepyCorner stories.
Hey everyone, welcome back to CreepyCorner stories. You know, diving into the dark web is always risky, but sharing these stories with you makes it worth it. I'm curious, where are you watching this from right now? Let me know in the comments below. I've noticed that these kinds of stories hit differently depending on where you are. It might even make the experience a little creepier. So, tell me, are you watching from the safety of your home or somewhere less secure? I ordered Labubu from the dark web. Last night I found my sister holding it and standing in front of the mirror with white eyes. Don't judge me that I am TikTok Gen Z, okay? I also read Reddit posts like the smart collage nerds. So, I never thought I'd actually be writing one of these. I read this kind of stuff all the time on r/NOSLEEP and watch creepy storytime videos on YouTube. Luna, here's my story. Even those animated horror ones that feel too real. I always figured they were fake. You know, people with a good imagination and a YouTube mic. But I'm telling you this as straight as I can. I don't know what's happening in my house anymore. Let me start from the beginning. I'm 17. I live just outside of Philly with my mom and little sister, Nina. She's 11 and has this weird obsession with those creepy little collectible dolls, like Huggy Wuggy, Chucky knockoffs, that kind of stuff. The weirdest one she's into lately is called Labubu. If you don't know it, Google it. It's like if a Furby and something demonic had a baby. Creepy grin, sharp teeth, cartoonish, but unsettling. Looks like it crawled straight out of a fever dream. Anyway, she saw it on TikTok. Some influencer unboxed one and it went viral for how possessed it looked. The one in the video moved by itself, but everyone in the comments was saying it was fake, edited for views. You know the drill. Well, I was curious. Dumb curious. I wanted to prank her. So, like an idiot, I looked up where to buy one. Amazon? Nah. All sold out. eBay? Nothing but bootlegs. Then I found a link. It was buried in a Reddit thread that got taken down hours after I saw it. The thread was titled, "Don't buy the mirror, Labubu. It watches you." Some user named DR3MSL1CE dropped a comment with a link. No text, just the URL. Sketchy AF. The link took me to a plain black page. Deep web vibes, but accessible from a normal browser somehow. All it said was, "You seek what watches. $30 in Bitcoin. No refunds. No contact." And there it was. A picture of the creepiest Labubu I've ever seen. Its eyes were way too big, glossy, and almost wet. It had tiny scratches all over its face, like it had been through something. I thought it looked perfect for the prank. I bought it. $30 in Bitcoin. Don't ask where I got that. Just know there are Discord servers for literally everything. The page disappeared the second the payment went through. I'm not joking. Just blank white. Like someone pulled the plug. Did I feel weird? Kinda. But whatever, I thought. A prank's a prank. 4 days later, this beat-up USPS box shows up on our porch. No return address. Not even a label. Just our address in smudged black marker. I bring it inside, and from the second I touch it, I feel like the box is cold. Like unnaturally cold. I shake it a bit. It's light. Doesn't make a sound. I was filming the unboxing to post on Snapchat, tagging it, "Nina's surprise from the underworld LOL." When I open it, man, it's so much worse than the photo. The doll's eyes are actually moist. I swear to God, like they were blinking or had just been crying. Its fur is matted and dusty in spots, but looks freshly torn in others. There's a weird dark stain on its tiny claws. I laughed it off, made it into a joke, like, this thing's haunted for sure, bro. But then Nina walked in. She freezes, just stares at it, like locked in, no blinking, and then she smiles. She walks up, grabs it out of my hands like I don't even exist, and says, "He likes mirrors." That stopped me. I'm like, "Who likes mirrors?" She goes, "Labubu. That's where he lives." That was wood. I never told her its name, and I swear to God, she said it in a way I've never heard her talk before, like someone was whispering through her. That night, around 2 a.m., I wake up to the sound of tapping, like claws on glass. I grab my phone, thinking it's just our cat, Milo. But Milo is asleep at the foot of my bed. The tapping gets louder. I get up, walk into the hallway, and instantly regret it. The bathroom door is cracked open, and inside, the light is off. But I can see the mirror, and Nina is standing right in front of it, holding Labubu, not moving, eyes wide open, glowing white in the reflection, but pitch black in reality. She's whispering something, over and over. I recorded on my phone out of instinct. I still haven't listened to it. I can't. When I try to call her name, she doesn't respond. I walk over, slowly. The doll's eyes move in the mirror, but not in real life. I swear to God. In the mirror, it turns its head to look at me. But when I glance down at her hands, it's still staring straight forward. My heart drops. My whole body goes ice cold. And then Nina whispers, "You brought him here. Now he watches you too." I yanked her out of the bathroom, took the doll, threw it in the downstairs closet, and slammed the door shut. She started screaming, like blood-curdling, shaking, full-on breakdown. My mom came running in, trying to calm her down, but Nina wouldn't stop crying. She just kept saying, "You made him mad. You made him mad." She hasn't spoken since. It's been a full day. I'm telling this now because I found something else tonight. In the box it came in, there was a slip of paper taped under the flap. I didn't notice it before. The handwriting is shaky, almost burnt into the page. It says, "Never let it near a mirror after 3 a.m. Never look into its eyes if they're wet. And if it speaks through someone you love, it's already too late." I haven't slept. I've locked the doll in the garage, wrapped in a trash bag, stuffed inside a toolbox, inside a locked bin. But tonight, something's scratching at the back door. Nina's in her room, but I swear I heard her voice in the garage. I'm gonna go check. I'll update soon. I didn't go to school the next day. Couldn't. My brain was fried, like it had been marinating in static for hours. I hadn't slept. My hands were shaking the entire morning, and my stomach kept twisting like it was trying to tie itself into knots. I tried to eat, but every time I brought the spoon to my mouth, all I could see was Nina's face reflected in the bathroom mirror. The way her pupils were gone, just milky pools, like someone painted over her soul. And her voice, I can't even explain it. It didn't sound like her. It sounded like someone pretending to be her. Anyway, let's talk about what happened next. The part that made me realize I might never be safe again. The part where I really started to lose my grip on what's real. So, after I posted part 1, I went to check the garage. It was 11:47 p.m. The hallway light kept flickering, like it was struggling to stay alive. I had this cheap flashlight on my phone, barely working, so I used that as I headed toward the garage door. I paused in front of it, listening. Silence, which somehow made it worse. You ever feel like silence is waiting, like it's holding its breath until you open the door? That's what it felt like. I opened it, slowly, flashlight shaking in my hand. The garage was pitch black, the kind of black that feels thick, like the air itself was heavier. We've got a bunch of junk in there. Old bikes, dusty boxes of Christmas stuff, a rusty treadmill from like 2008. But all I could focus on was that one plastic storage bin near the far wall, the one I put Labubu in. And here's the first thing that messed me up. The lock was gone. I'd padlocked the bin earlier with one of my dad's old bike locks. It was just gone. No scratch marks, no snapped metal. It was just not there, like someone had teleported it off. I stepped forward. I wish I didn't, because as I got closer, I heard something that I still don't know how to explain. Laughing, not loud, not cartoonish, quiet, breathless, almost like a giggle trying to hide. But it wasn't coming from the bin. It was coming from the walls, like the insulation was laughing, like the entire garage was choking back a laugh, waiting for me to lift the lid. I did, and there it was, Labubu. But it was different. It wasn't sitting like before. It was standing, perfectly upright, one arm raised, like it had been waving. Its eyes, no longer glossy, were wide open, but not in the I'm a cute creepy toy kind of way. More like it was mid-scream, but silently. Its jaw was open way too far, like it had unhinged itself. And then I noticed its hands. They were wet, sticky, dark, red. I nearly dropped my flashlight. I stepped back, tripping over an old extension cord, slamming into a shelf of paint cans. One of them fell, burst open on the floor, and the smell hit me. Not paint. Something sour. Rotted. It stung my nose and made me gag instantly. I ran, slammed the door, locked it. Now here's where it gets even worse. I run to Nina's room, bust the door open. She's not there. Just a phone, sitting on the bed, still unlocked, still playing that same TikTok from before. The one where the influencer unboxes Labubu. But now, the video's glitched. The influencer's face is blurred out, smeared across the screen like someone stretched it with a knife. And the audio, not music, not a voice. It was a low growl, like someone was breathing through layers of static and water, gurgling like they were speaking underwater. I snatched her phone, tried calling her, straight to voicemail. That's when I saw it. A new video had been posted to her TikTok just 5 minutes ago. It was her, standing in front of our downstairs mirror, holding Labubu again. But I was literally just in the garage with that thing. No one passed me. In the video, Nina isn't blinking. Not once. Just staring into the mirror, mouthing something. The captions glitched and kept repeating, "Don't look. Don't look. Don't look. Don't look. Don't look." The camera then pans on its own to the hallway behind her. And I swear on everything I love, I'm standing there, in the video, in the background, wearing what I'm wearing now, looking straight at the camera, except I wasn't filming, and I wasn't in that hallway. I was in her room. So who the hell was that? I felt my chest go cold, not like scared cold, like dead cold. I ran downstairs, yelling her name, every room, every closet, even the basement. Nothing. Then I remembered. We have another mirror, in the hallway closet, the one with the sliding glass doors. I pulled it open, and my soul nearly ripped out of my chest. Nina was standing inside, behind the clothes, motionless, clutching Labubu like it was alive. Her eyes were still white, but not glowing this time. Leaking. I'm not kidding. Thick, white, milky tears were streaming down her cheeks. And then she spoke, but her mouth didn't move. Her voice came from behind me. It whispered, "You should have let me out." I turned around so fast I nearly fell over, but nothing was there. When I looked back into the closet, she was gone. Gone. But the doll, it was now sitting at my feet, no movement, just staring. And now its eyes looked human, brown, deep, wet. I kicked it. I don't even care. I booted it across the room, and it hit the wall with a sickening thud. Not a plushy noise, more like a meaty impact, like something inside it had bones. And then the lights cut out, total blackout, and in the pitch dark, all I could hear was clicking, like long sharp nails tapping on tile, coming from the kitchen, then from the stairs, then from above me, then inside the walls. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't even move. And in that darkness, I heard one more thing. You brought the mirror home. I'm sleeping in the shed tonight with the lights on. I don't care. I'm not stepping foot back into that house until I figure out what this thing is and what it wants. Nina hasn't come home. The cops say she probably ran away, but she's 11. She doesn't even like walking to the mailbox alone. I checked the mirror just now in the shed. There was something behind me, but when I turned around, it was me, smiling, holding the doll. I don't think I'm fully real anymore. That probably sounds like some dramatic Reddit edge posting, but I mean it. I don't know when it happened, but at some point in the last 48 hours, the me that used to exist got peeled off, like a skin you leave hanging in the dark. There's this other version walking around now, twitching, smiling, blinking wrong. And every time I look in a mirror, I'm not sure who's standing on the other side anymore. But this started with Labubu. Now I'm starting to think it ends with me. After what happened in the garage, I stayed in the shed that night. I didn't sleep. I just sat there with the light on, watching my reflection in the window, just in case it changed again. But around 4:17 a.m., I blacked out. I didn't fall asleep. I blacked out. It's different. You ever wake up with no memory of when you went to sleep? No dreams, no tossing, just pure empty absence. Yeah, I woke up in my own bed, back in the house. No idea how I got there. The light outside was this strange, sickly color, kind of greenish yellow, like the sun was pushing through a stomach. And I could hear a faint noise, like radio static mixed with distant screaming underwater. I thought maybe I was dreaming, but then I looked at my hands. They were covered in dirt, under my nails, up my wrists, scratches, small cuts, like I'd been digging, in the cold, with no gloves. And then I saw my phone. A video was open. I had recorded myself. It was me, walking barefoot in the woods, at night. In the video, I'm laughing, but my mouth isn't moving. The laugh is coming from behind the camera, and I'm holding something, not the doll, a mirror, a full-length, antique-looking mirror, the kind you'd find in an old dressing room. I'm dragging it behind me through the dirt, the glass scraping against rocks, trees, roots. But no matter how rough I drag it, the glass never breaks. I'm whispering something to it. Over and over, the camera glitches, cuts, then shows me burying it. I can see where it happens. That's the part that makes me feel sick. There's this trail behind our neighborhood, just trees and garbage and occasional broken bottles. Kids go out there to vape and be edgy. I've walked that trail 100 times, but what I didn't know is that if you go far enough, there's a clearing with a hole, freshly dug. I went back out there in the daylight. I followed my own video, step by step, and yeah, it was all real. And in the center of the clearing, under some dead leaves, was the disturbed earth. Not like a normal shovel dig, more like something clawed through the dirt in frantic circles. I could still see the tips of a wooden frame sticking out from under the soil. I didn't touch it. I couldn't, because of what was standing next to it. It was Nina. Only, it wasn't. Her body was still, perfectly still, like wax. She was wearing her sleep shirt, barefoot, hair matted with pine needles, standing with her back to me. Her head was turned, just slightly, enough that I could see she was smiling, and she was holding Labubu again, but the way she held it, she wasn't clutching it like a child. She was offering it, like a priest handing over communion. I stepped back, heart pounding, and she finally spoke, but not in her voice, not even close. It was my voice. You saw it, didn't you? She turned fully now. Her eyes were back to that same milky, bleached white, but her mouth was wrong, too wide, hanging open like it had been unhinged, and inside wasn't a tongue or teeth. It was glass, like the inside of her mouth was a mirror. She laughed, but again, the sound came from behind me. I spun around, and this time, I saw it, the real Labubu. I wish I was making this part up. I wish I could say it was just a doll, just a cursed toy. But no, it was standing upright, about 4 feet tall now, its fur dripping wet, not water, but something darker, like black syrup. The fur hung off it in patches, revealing stretched skin underneath, translucent and crawling. Its eyes were now human, Nina's eyes, and when it opened its mouth, it had my teeth, real adult-sized teeth, jammed into a jaw too small to hold them, blood lining the gums, the lips peeled back too far. It moved toward me without walking, just a shift in space, like someone cut a frame from reality and pasted it closer. Then it opened its arms, like it wanted a hug, and behind it, dozens of mirror shards began floating in the air, twisting and shaking violently, like they were trying to assemble something, or someone. I ran. I didn't look back. I heard cracking, glass breaking, laughter in my own voice, chasing me down the trail. By the time I got home, the sun had completely gone behind the clouds, and the whole neighborhood looked grayed out, like someone put a filter over everything. When I stepped into the house, all the mirrors were gone, not just moved, not broken, gone. The frames remained, but where there used to be glass was just wet darkness, like the inside of a cave. I swear I saw something shift inside the bathroom mirror frame, like something breathing on the other side. I didn't go near it, and then the messages started, on my phone, on my laptop, on my mom's iPad. They weren't from numbers, no sender info, just messages popping up. You're the mirror now. We see through you. He's already in. One photo showed up in my gallery, dated 2 days in the future. The image? Me. But in the mirror, and behind me, Nina. Except her face was gone, replaced with mine. And in the corner of the mirror, Labubu was crawling out, halfway through, clawing, stretching. I tried smashing my phone. It didn't break. I took a hammer to the TV. It sparked once, then turned itself back on. Only it didn't show regular programming, just footage of me sleeping from inside the mirror in my room, and then something worse. Footage of me watching myself sleep. I can't stay here. I don't know where Nina is. I don't know what that thing wants. But every time I close my eyes, I hear the same thing. Glass shattering, and a voice whispering, not outside, but inside my skull. You ordered him. You invited him. Now you wear his face. I'm gonna go back to the woods. I have to know what's under that mirror. I'm bringing a shovel, a lighter, and something sharp. I don't think I'll make it back. But if I do, you'll know. Because the next post won't be written by me. It'll be written by what's wearing my skin. You ever peel something back and wish you hadn't? Like a scab. You just keep picking, thinking maybe you'll see new skin. But sometimes, underneath, there's rot, bone, infection, something that should have stayed buried. That's what this is. Only now, it's not just me peeling anymore. Something's peeling me. I went back to the clearing, alone. No flashlight this time. I wanted the dark. I needed it. Felt like if I brought light, it would see me easier. It, Labubu, or the thing that wears Labubu like a costume, like a meat suit. I had a shovel. I had a lighter. I had one of those cheap dollar store box cutters in my hoodie pocket. Not because I thought I could fight it, but because if I ended up face to face with whatever's behind the mirror, I wasn't going to let it drag me through without a scar. I'd at least leave a mark on it. That's the only power I thought I had left, scarring it back. It took 20 minutes of walking before I reached the clearing again, but it looked different. The trees weren't just taller, they were wrong, twisted inwards, like they were leaning toward the hole in the center, like they were curious or hungry. The grass was black, not burned, drained, wilted like it had been kissed by something that eats light. The mirror was still there, still buried just under the topsoil, the same wood frame, same shape, but now it was humming, not loud, just low, constant vibration, like it was shivering, waiting, breathing under the dirt. And the second my shovel touched the ground, it woke up. The earth cracked. I'm not exaggerating. The mirror pulsed like a heartbeat. And then I heard it. A voice. My voice. Don't dig me up, man. Please. Just leave me here. You don't need to see what's inside. You'll never come back. You'll never leave. It wasn't coming from the mirror. It was coming from underneath it. I didn't stop. I couldn't. I dug like something was burning behind my eyes, like I was possessed. Dirt flying, nails cracking, fingers bleeding, and then metal. The sound of the shovel scraping against a coffin hinge. I dropped the shovel and used my hands, tore the dirt away like it was flesh. What I uncovered wasn't a mirror anymore. It was a door, the wooden frame, a border, the glass, now a window into somewhere else, and inside, my sister's face, smashed against the other side, like she was pressed against the glass underwater, screaming, mouth wide open, eyes rolled back, skin bloated like she drowned in something too thick to breathe. And behind her, Labubu. Its body was enormous now, not a doll, not even humanoid. A mass of twisted limbs and shattered glass fused together. It had multiple faces now. Mine, Nina's, my mom's, random ones from my phone's photo album. All warped, all sewn into its body like a living scrapbook of pain. It moved toward the glass, and the glass bulged, like it was trying to come through. I pulled the lighter from my pocket and sparked it. It flared once, then died. The flame turned black, and I swear, I heard it whisper, "That's not fire anymore." Then the box cutter started heating up in my hoodie pocket. I pulled it out, too hot to hold. The blade was melting, curling like paper, and then something grabbed my ankle. A hand, small, fragile. Nina's, but not the one from the mirror. This one was behind me. I turned around, and there she was, standing in the clearing, face normal, clothes dry, eyes clear. "Help me," she whispered, and without thinking, I grabbed her. I held her so tight, I almost crushed her ribs. She was sobbing, shaking, teeth chattering, like she'd been out there for days. She kept saying, "He made me watch, he made me watch, he made me watch." I didn't ask what. I didn't want to know. Not yet. I told her we were leaving. She said, "We can't. He needs you to see what's underneath." Before I could respond, the glass shattered. Not loudly, not a crash. A slow, sick, squelching crack, like ice breaking under skin. The mirror door split open, and something crawled out. I don't have the words. I wish I did. I wish I could describe it in a way that made you understand how wrong it looked. But it didn't fit. Not in the world. Not in space. It glitched as it moved, each limb lagging behind the rest like it was buffering. And the faces, they were screaming, all at once. No mouths moving, just a chorus of agony inside my head. "See, oh, see." I don't remember running. All I remember is my heart punching itself through my chest, Nina screaming beside me, and the sound of glass shards skittering across the leaves, chasing us like cockroaches. The trail didn't look the same. The trees weren't trees anymore. They were people, bodies embedded in bark, faces stretched along the trunks, mouths open, twitching, eyes filled with static. And as I looked over my shoulder, I saw me, not running, walking, calm, smiling, holding Labubu, not a doll, not a thing, holding it like it was a part of me. We made it back to the house, bolted the door, barricaded it. Nina collapsed. She's asleep now, but she keeps twitching, murmuring in her sleep, saying names I don't recognize. Lana, Marco, Siren, Baby Teeth. Names. Over and over. I think there were other people who bought it. Other people who didn't make it out. The hallway mirror is gone now. Just empty space where it used to be. But the reflection still shows up. Not mine, not Nina's. Just someone staring in, smiling. And sometimes, I swear I see my hands move before I tell them to. Here's the part that's really messing me up. I checked my email just now. There's a new message from the dark website I used to buy Labubu. Only, I never gave them my email. Subject line: "Thank you for unlocking the next phase." Inside the message, a single image. It's a picture of me, sleeping, but my face is gone, replaced with Labubu's. Except, it's not a mask. It's fused to my skull, seamless, like it's always been mine. And underneath that image, one sentence: "You were never the buyer. You were the delivery." There's something you should understand about mirrors. They don't reflect you. They copy you. But copies degrade. And the one I've become isn't me anymore. I haven't slept in 72 hours. If I close my eyes, I see it again. Not a nightmare. Not some twisted dream. I mean see, like a screen behind my eyelids, always on, always showing me the other side. Nina won't wake up now. Her body's here, in her bed, breathing, shallow and slow. But her mind is somewhere else. She mutters sometimes, just one word, over and over. Reverse. I thought maybe she meant reverse the curse, undo what we did, but I think it's worse than that. I think she's talking about reversing the mirror, letting the thing that's inside come out. Earlier tonight, I started hearing clicking sounds from behind the walls again. Not scratching, not footsteps. Clicking, like teeth tapping together in anticipation. I went to the bathroom. The mirror wasn't there. Again, just an empty frame. But as I stared into it, my reflection started to fade back in. Only it wasn't doing what I was doing. I lifted my right hand. It lifted its left. And then it stopped copying me altogether. It smiled. And it pointed behind me. I turned around, slow, afraid even to breathe. And in the hallway behind me was another me. A second version. Identical. Clothes, hair, everything. Except the eyes. They were completely mirrored. Not white, not glowing. Just pure silver, like someone replaced them with wet glass. I blinked. It didn't. I screamed. It smiled wider. It whispered, "You were never watching. You were always being watched." Then it lunged. I don't remember what happened for about 40 minutes. I blacked out, or something worse. When I came to, I was in the attic, alone, covered in shards of mirror glass. My mouth tasted like blood and static, and Nina was gone. Not in her room, not in the house, not anywhere. But there was a note, carved into the drywall in the hallway. Not written, carved, with fingernails or teeth. "She's not yours anymore. She's ours." Here's the part I've been avoiding. The part I didn't want to admit, even to myself. I checked the front door cam. Motion sensor went off at 3:01 a.m. The footage? Nina, walking out of the house, alone. No shoes, no expression. And right behind her was me. Not real me. Reflection me. But that version was flickering, glitching, like a corrupted video file. Frame by frame, his body warped, arms longer than they should be, jaw clicking in and out of place, his skin stretching like it was trying to hold something crawling underneath it. And then they vanished. Not walked off camera, just glitched out. I drove around for 2 hours, no sign of her, but I started seeing things on my drive. Little things. A Labubu doll, sitting on a sidewalk bench. A cracked phone left in the gutter, screen open to a selfie of me, smiling with no eyes. A mirror leaned against a bus stop with the words written across it in dust. "You are not the reflection. You are the shadow." When I got back home, the house was different, wider, deeper, like it had grown. Doors that didn't used to exist. Windows that looked out onto nothing. I checked my room. Every surface now reflected something, but not reality. My desk reflected a hospital room. My closet reflected a forest fire. My bed reflected a slab with something stitched into it. I grabbed my phone to call someone, anyone, but the second I unlocked it, it opened the camera, front-facing, and the face, looking back, wasn't mine. It looked like me, but the mouth was gone, replaced with a permanent hole, swirling black, leaking thin strands of mirror shards from the corners like drool. And from the speaker, I heard Nina's voice. "He needs a new one. Your body is empty now. It's time." That was 40 minutes ago. Since then, every screen, every reflection, every surface that could show me has gone dark. I don't mean powered off. I mean like it's watching, but not reflecting. They've all turned into windows, and on the other side, they're waiting. Labubu, Nina, me, and others. Hundreds, thousands. all just standing, watching, smiling with teeth that don't belong to them. There's a mirror in the basement. It used to be my dad's old workout mirror before he left. I went down there just now, turned off every light, waited in the dark, and stared. After 30 minutes, I saw it. Not movement, not change, just a crack, right down the center, and behind it, a face. Not Nina's, not mine. Something else. Older, hollow, ancient and hungry. And in that moment, I understood. Labubu was never a doll. He was the key, the body, the entry point. Every doll sold, every haunted toy story, every viral TikTok clip, just advertisements, bait, to spread the mirror sickness, to break reality one reflection at a time. Now I can't see my reflection anywhere. I don't cast one, not in glass, not in phones, not even in puddles. That's what happens when it finishes copying you. It steals the last of you. And I can feel him now, behind my eyes, breathing through my skin, smiling with my mouth, waiting for me to stop typing. So if you're reading this, if you ordered anything off the dark web, if you ever looked at a mirror too long and felt like it blinked when you didn't, destroy it. Don't touch it. Don't look into it. Because mirrors don't just reflect, they replicate. And once they have your image, they don't need you anymore. I hear footsteps. I think it's me. The other me. He's knocking now. From inside the closet mirror, he's saying, "Time to switch." I found a real red room on the dark web. The room where it was recorded looked like my nerd's neighbor basement. Yo, what's up guys? Today I'm going to talk about the biggest nerd that I bullied in school, in the market, on the streets, and now I'm scared to go and buy toilet paper. So I don't really know how to start this without sounding insane, but I swear on everything, what I'm about to tell you is 100% real. I've never posted on Reddit before, but after what happened, I just need to get this out. For context, I'm 20, live in the US, in a pretty average neighborhood. I won't say the exact state, but let's just say it's one of those places where everyone knows everyone and nothing interesting ever happens. You blink and it's just another Starbucks, another McDonald's, another boring strip mall. But that's kinda what made this whole thing way creepier. So I've got this friend group, me, Kyle, Brandon, and Alex. We've all been tight since high school, and we still hang out online every night like we're still 17. Usual Discord shenanigans. One night, maybe 2 months ago, we were doing one of those dumb dares, like Would You Rather, but with punishments. It was getting late, and someone brought up the dark web. Kyle goes, "Yo, what if we did a dark web challenge? Like for real. None of that YouTube fake Red Room BS." I thought he was messing around, but then Brandon, who's like the edgy IT guy in our group, starts talking like he knows how to get on there. Said he used to poke around back in college, but never bought anything. He claimed 90% of it is just boring black market crap. But then he said this line I still remember: "You never know what's fake until it feels too real. That's when you log off." That night, we dared him to go on and stream it in our Discord server, just for fun. He booted up Tor, connected through like 3 VPNs, and started digging through a list of .onion links he had saved. It looked so sketchy, man. like straight out of a horror movie. The sites had names like Black Fang Market, Echo Room, and one that literally just said, live inside. Most of them were dead links or required login codes, but then he hit on one. It was called the viewing chair. No password, just a black screen with red text. You don't watch us, we watch you. We all laughed at first. I remember Kyle saying, "Yo, this is some Netflix horror type beat." But then Brandon clicked the button that said enter room. It went black. Then the stream loaded. Low resolution, grainy, and there was this loud humming sound in the background, like an old refrigerator or something metallic buzzing constantly. The screen showed a dimly lit room, red lights, a single wooden chair in the center, chains on the walls, no windows. I know this is gonna sound nuts, but the room looked familiar. I got this weird feeling in my chest, like I knew I had seen that place before. The cement walls, the half-covered pipe in the back, the dusty stack of old monitors in the corner. Then it hit me. It looked exactly like my neighbor's basement, the nerdy guy from across the street, Mr. Howard. Yeah, I know. Everyone's got that one weird neighbor, right? But this guy was on another level. Dude was in his 50s, lived alone, still wore khakis, and tucked in shirts like it was 1999. Always avoided eye contact. His windows were always covered with tin foil. Like full-on conspiracy theorist energy. He had this weird habit of watering his lawn at night, like 2 a.m., and I'd see him just standing out there in the dark with a flashlight. But the reason it hit me so hard is that one time, 2 summers ago, I helped him move a washing machine down into that basement. He didn't really ask. I just offered because he looked like he was about to pull his back. And when we went down there, I swear to God, the layout was exactly the same. The same paint-chipped wall, the same crack in the corner near the drain, even the same old computer monitors stacked up by the shelf. I remembered because I thought it was weird that someone had that many unused monitors in 2023. Now, maybe you're thinking I was just imagining it, but no. Brandon kept the stream going, and after a minute, someone entered the frame. A man, wearing a black hoodie and one of those super cheap Halloween-style plastic masks. You know the kind, like the white smiling face from Party City. Except this one had red streaks painted under the eyes, like it was crying blood. He didn't say anything, just stood behind the chair. Then the chat box popped up on the side of the screen. There wasn't one before. Messages started pouring in, all anonymous. Chain them. Do it now. Next show starts in 3 minutes. Let them beg. Use the wrench. We all just stared in silence. I could hear Alex breathing heavy in the voice chat. Then Brandon goes, "Yo, we should probably close this. This isn't funny anymore." And as soon as he said that, the guy in the mask turned, looked directly at the camera, and waved. I felt my blood freeze. I know, that sounds dramatic, but something in that wave felt off. Not playful, not creepy, just like he knew we were watching, like he could see us. Then the camera glitched, just for a split second, but the frame flashed something, a face, blurry, distorted, but I swear to God, it looked like Kyle. We screamed. Brandon immediately slammed his laptop shut, and the Discord call went dead. I messaged the group chat like crazy, but no one responded for hours. I stayed up all night, pacing my room, checking my window every 10 seconds. Around 3:30 a.m., I heard the weirdest sound from outside. It was a chair scraping across concrete. I looked out my bedroom window and saw Mr. Howard dragging a wooden chair across his driveway. Same kind, same shape, same deep brown wood with a split on the leg, just like the one from the stream. He wasn't looking at me, but he paused, then turned his head slowly and waved. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat there, lights off, wrapped in my hoodie, with the curtain barely cracked, staring at Mr. Howard's house like I was waiting for something to move. He never took the chair inside, just left it in his driveway like a warning, like he wanted me to see it. At 6 a.m., my mom knocked on my door and asked if I wanted Starbucks. I told her no and pretended to be asleep. I was in no condition to leave the house or explain why I looked like I saw the devil. The Discord messages were still unread. Kyle, Brandon, and Alex had completely ghosted. Not even a yo WTF was that. Not a single ping. That day, I stayed in my room, blackout blinds down, phone on silent. I kept replaying the guy waving at us. The room that looked like Mr. Howard's basement, and that flash frame, the one that showed Kyle's face. It wasn't a glitch. It wasn't a coincidence. That was Kyle, mouth taped, eyes wide open, like he was screaming silently. But Kyle was still online. Right? Wrong. His Instagram account went dark that morning. I checked, and all his posts were wiped. No bio, no profile picture, just a blank account with 0 followers. That dude used to post stories every damn day, flexing his McChickens and random memes like he was famous. Now, it was like he never existed. Same thing with his Snap. I went to send him a message, and his Bitmoji just vanished. Not deleted the app gone, more like wiped, like someone pulled the plug. That night, I couldn't take it anymore. I messaged Brandon and Alex privately, even texted them. No response. Then I remembered something. Brandon had a second Instagram account where he used to post dumb PC builds and memes. Total burner account. I found it, and to my shock, it was still active. But his last post, it was a story from 12 hours ago. A 3-second black screen. Then a distorted voice, whispering, "He knows you're watching." I dropped my phone. My chest felt like it was folding in on itself. I couldn't think straight. I needed to do something. Anything. So like an idiot, I went outside. I told myself I was just gonna walk by Mr. Howard's house. That's it. Just a walk. Clear my head. It was about 10:30 p.m. The neighborhood was dead quiet. No cars, no dogs, just crickets, and the distant hum of a transformer buzzing like it was about to blow. His house looked the same. Dark windows, tin foil glinting faintly in the moonlight, but the chair was gone. And the garage door, half open. I should have turned back. I know. But something pulled me in, like a rubber band around my chest, dragging me toward that house. I walked up his driveway slowly, heart pounding like a war drum. I peeked under the garage door. Inside was nothing, just an empty, dusty garage with some shelves and a shovel leaning against the wall. The same kind of shovel I saw him holding last summer when I caught him digging in his backyard at 3 a.m. I thought he was planting something back then. Now, I'm not so sure. I turned to leave, but then I saw it. A small trail of what looked like mud leading from the garage out toward the woods behind the neighborhood, like someone dragged something heavy through wet dirt. I followed it. I followed it past my own backyard, past the fence, past the creek, where me and the guys used to smoke behind the trees in high school. The trail kept going, like someone had been walking the path over and over again, dragging something or someone. About 20 minutes into the woods, I found a spot where the dirt was disturbed, fresh. The leaves were cleared, and the ground was sunken in, like something had been buried there recently. And sticking out of the soil, just barely, was a GoPro, caked in dirt, almost invisible in the dark. I dug it out with my hands, heart racing, adrenaline shaking my fingers. I wiped the lens and tried to turn it on. Dead battery. But I saw the memory card was still inside. I ran home, like my life depended on it. When I got back, I locked my door, yanked my hoodie off, and plugged the card into my old Chromebook. It took a second to load. There were 5 video files, no titles, just timestamps. I clicked the first one. It opened with heavy breathing, a shaky camera moving through the woods, someone whispering. I couldn't make out the words at first, but then it became clear. Test 2. Room is stable. Upload soon. The video cut to a dimly lit basement. I froze. It was the same red room, same chair, same chains. Only this time, someone was in the chair, face covered, bound at the wrists and ankles, breathing hard. A man in a black hoodie walked into frame, the same plastic blood-crying mask. He walked behind the person in the chair, pulled something out of his coat, a screwdriver. I wanted to pause it. I swear to God, I wanted to stop watching, but I couldn't. It was like my body was locked. The masked man whispered something to the camera. Pain makes the soul visible. Then No, I'm not going to describe it. Not fully. But I will tell you this. That person in the chair screamed, even through the duct tape, even without words. I've never heard a sound like that in my life. It wasn't just fear. It was hopelessness. Pure, raw, human agony. I skipped the second and third videos. The fourth one, I had to know. It opened with Kyle's face, unconscious, tied to the chair, blood on his forehead, his phone taped to the wall, screen cracked, still open to our Discord chat. That was the flash frame. That's how they showed it during the stream. They used his phone to stream it. I vomited in my trash can. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. The fifth video, I almost didn't click it, but I had to. It started in broad daylight. A backyard. My backyard. Someone was filming from behind a tree. You could see my bedroom window. And then, you could see me, sitting at my desk, watching the video. I slammed the laptop shut so hard I cracked the hinge. I scrambled to the window, looked outside. Nothing. But then my phone buzzed. No number. Just a text. Keep watching. You're next. You guys wanted terrifying. This is just the beginning. I haven't even told you about the knock I heard at my door the next night, and what I found in my closet afterward. Let me know if you're ready for part 3. Just know, once I tell it, there's no going back. I didn't tell anyone what I saw. Not my mom. Not my cousin who lives 2 blocks down. Not even the police. What was I supposed to say? Hey, I found a GoPro in the woods behind my neighbor's house, and it had a snuff film of my best friend getting tortured on it. And now someone's filming me through my bedroom window. Yeah. Number. They'd throw me in a psych ward before the second sentence left my mouth. I kept the memory card, hid it inside an old cereal box on my shelf, behind some Pokemon cards I haven't touched since 8th grade. The kind of hiding spot only someone completely spiraling would come up with. After I got that message, keep watching, you're next, I shut off my phone. turned off everything. No lights, no Wi-Fi, no nothing. I laid in bed, staring at the ceiling, and for the first time since I was a kid, I left the light on in the hallway. You know how, when you're trying to sleep, and your house makes all those weird noises, pipes groaning, walls cracking from temperature change, that distant fridge hum that somehow sounds like a footstep. Except this wasn't that. This was shifting, something subtle, like fabric brushing against the carpet, like someone dragging their palm slowly across my bedroom door from the other side. Every time I moved, it stopped, and then started again, like it was syncing itself to my breathing. I laid still, eyes wide, for hours. My lamp was on. The hallway light was on. I thought maybe I was paranoid. Maybe I hadn't actually heard anything. Until, thump, from inside the closet. A single, heavy thump, like something fell from a shelf. My mouth went dry. I didn't want to move. I didn't even want to blink. I just stared at the closet door, frozen under my blanket, like that would somehow protect me from what I already knew was waiting in there. Another sound, this one quieter, a slow creaking sound, like hinges under pressure. The closet door was opening, by itself. I didn't move, didn't scream. I just stared in wide-eyed silence. My breath was caught in my throat. I could feel my own heartbeat pounding in my ears. Then, nothing. Silence. The door stopped moving. That's when I did something so stupid, so incredibly dumb, that I still can't believe I did it. I called out, "Kyle." Why? I don't know. Maybe because some part of me thought this was all a prank, that somehow my best friend, who I hadn't seen since we watched that Red Room stream, was hiding in my closet, and this was all just a messed up way of getting back at me for something. But the voice that responded wasn't Kyle's. It was wrong, deep, garbled, like someone was playing a voice message through a cheap Bluetooth speaker underwater. I don't even know if it was English, just syllables, muted syllables that sounded like words. And then, breathing, heavy, animal-like, the kind of breathing you hear from someone sprinting and then trying to hide it, just on the other side of that thin wooden door. I grabbed the lamp off my nightstand and hurled it at the closet. The bulb shattered, glass everywhere. The door creaked shut again, like something backed away. But I saw it, for less than a second, just before the closet closed. A face, not a mask. A face, and I'm not even sure it was human. The skin looked fake, like a silicone cover stretched too tight over a skull. The eyes were too round, reflective, almost glowing, like camera eyes. It looked at me like it was studying me, like it was trying to memorize my fear. I ran, didn't even put shoes on, just sprinted down the hallway, through the kitchen, out the front door barefoot, into the middle of the street. I didn't stop running until I hit the Walgreens at the corner of my block. I sat outside on the curb until sunrise, cold, shivering, covered in sweat. When I came home, the closet was empty, not just of anything in it. I mean empty, cleaned out, like someone took every single item, clothes, boxes, hangers, everything, and removed them silently, while I was in the house. And written on the inside wall in black marker was one sentence: "You don't know how deep the room goes." That was 2 nights ago. Yesterday morning, I woke up to the sound of my mom yelling in the kitchen. I came down and saw her standing by the front door, holding an envelope. No stamp, no return address, just my name, written in thick red Sharpie. Inside the envelope were 4 photographs, each one worse than the last. The first one was of my house, taken from across the street, middle of the night. You could see my bedroom light was on. The second photo was from closer, maybe from my front lawn, same angle, only this time you could see me in the window, sitting at my desk. The third photo, inside my room, taken from behind me. My heart stopped. That picture was taken from inside my room, over my shoulder. I was watching something on my laptop in the photo, but I couldn't tell what. The image was too dark. The last photo, it was of the red room, but this time, the person in the chair was me. My mouth taped, my eyes swollen, my wrists zip-tied to the arms of the chair. Only one thing was different. I was smiling, not like a normal smile, a stretched, unrealistic, Joker-style smile that didn't look like it belonged on my face at all. My mom didn't say anything, just handed me the envelope and walked out of the room. She hasn't looked at me the same since. I went to the police station with the photos. Didn't say where I got them, just said I found them on our porch. They gave me a form to fill out. You know what one of the questions asked? Do you suspect anyone with mental illness may be involved? I left it blank. They told me they'd investigate, but I've heard nothing since. That night, I didn't go home. I stayed at a Motel 6 about 2 towns over, paid in cash, covered the peephole, locked the door with a chair, slept in the bathtub with a knife under my pillow. At 2:11 a.m., the TV turned itself on, loud static. Then, a video. I don't know how. I didn't have my laptop. I didn't have my phone on, but the TV displayed it like it was streaming from inside. It was a live feed of the red room. Only now, the walls were painted with something. Writing. Dozens of names scrolled across every inch of the cinder block walls in black ink. Hundreds of them. I scanned the walls in the frame, my eyes moving too fast, but then they landed on one name near the bottom corner, Brandon, and below it, in fresh red ink, Alex. Then something moved on screen. A man stepped into frame, wearing the same mask, the one with the red, crying eyes. He dragged something heavy into the room. At first, I thought it was a trash bag, but then the bag twitched, and a muffled scream came from inside it. He looked at the camera and waved. Again. Then the screen glitched, and now, I swear on everything, the TV displayed a countdown timer. 0, 0, 23, 51, then a message. Your turn. I didn't wait for the countdown to hit 0. The second that screen flashed, your turn, I grabbed the motel key, slammed the door open, and ran barefoot into the parking lot, like something was chewing through my spine. No bag, no ID, no phone. Just me and my cracked psyche stumbling into the street under that disgusting orange glow from the gas station signs across the road. I kept running until I couldn't feel my feet. No one chased me. Nothing came out of the shadows. But I knew it wasn't over. It was starting. You think you know what fear is. You think jump scares and haunted houses teach you anything real. Try living in a world where someone can reach you anywhere. Where a masked man in a live stream from a basement that shouldn't exist can see you from behind the camera, even though the camera is pointed at him. Where your own house becomes a mirror of a horror room you've never been inside, but somehow know exactly how it smells. That motel TV didn't stream a video. It streamed a promise. and I was next. I hitchhiked to a 24-hour diner off the highway 2 counties over. Some sad place with flickering neon and a waitress who looked like she hadn't blinked since Bush was president. I sat in the last booth, shaking like I'd just escaped an asylum, and ordered a coffee I didn't drink. That's when I noticed my reflection in the window. Not myself, my reflection. It was off. You ever see those fake TikTok filters that try to mimic your face, but glitch when you blink or tilt your head? That's what it looked like my reflection was just a little behind, and then it smiled. I didn't, but the reflection smiled. Wide, too wide, teeth I didn't recognize. The waitress dropped my check without a word, scrawled on the back in red ink, "He's not wearing a mask." 2 days passed, maybe 3. I don't know. I stayed off-grid, couch-hopped through friends who didn't ask questions, slept in garages and crawl spaces like a hunted animal. But it didn't matter. The world was folding in on itself, like whatever I'd seen, whatever I'd let into my head, was reshaping reality around me. The next night, I was staying at my friend Jay's place. He's chill, doesn't ask questions, and smokes enough to not notice if a portal to hell opens in his hallway. At 3:19 a.m., I woke up to silence. You don't get it. That kind of silence isn't peaceful. It's wrong. It's the kind of silence that feels like your ears have been stuffed with cotton soaked in static. It's the kind of silence that hides something. Then I saw the hallway light turn on by itself. One bulb, buzzing, flickering, and swinging. The hallway bulb should not have been swinging. No one had touched it. I stared at it, heart hammering like someone was playing drums inside my ribcage. And then, under the swinging light, a figure appeared, slow, jerky, like a broken animatronic at a Chuck E. Cheese that someone dug up and reactivated in the middle of a rainstorm. The man stepped into the hallway. Same hoodie, same building, but this time, no mask. And that was the most horrifying thing I've seen in my life. Because his face wasn't a face. It was smooth, skin stretched tight, no nose, no eyes, just a mouth, a slit, and it was open, not like yelling, not like screaming, just open, like a tunnel. And from inside it came voices, dozens of them, hundreds, all talking at once, whispering, begging, screaming from inside that impossibly black mouth, like a tunnel into a hell dimension, like he'd swallowed them, like every single person from that red room, every victim, every name on those walls, every friend I lost, they were all inside him. He took a step toward me. I tried to scream. No sound. Tried to run. My legs wouldn't move. He tilted his head, as if studying me. His mouth widened, stretching from ear to ear, like a zipper peeling open, and something started climbing out. Not a hand, not a creature, not a weapon. It was a camera, a small handheld camcorder, old school VHS style, with a blinking red light. He extended his arm slowly, holding it out to me, and in a voice that wasn't his, but mine, he said, "Time to record." I blacked out. No dreams, no waking up in sweat, just black. When I came to, I was back in my house, in my bed, but nothing was right. The furniture was mirrored. My closet was on the wrong side. The posters on the wall were flipped, like I was living inside a reverse version of my own life. And on the desk in front of me was the camcorder, still recording. There's one last part you need to know. One thing I haven't told anyone. When I finally worked up the courage to plug that camcorder into my laptop and transfer the footage, I expected Red Room stuff. Basement torture, screams, faces, but it wasn't that. It was just me. Hundreds of clips, thousands, hours of footage of me sleeping, me eating, me on my phone, all taken from just behind my shoulder, from inside cars, from across rooms, from under my bed. And the worst part, some of the clips were from months ago, way before the Red Room stream, way before Kyle disappeared, way before I knew anything was wrong. I've been watched for a long time, and in the last video, just 24 seconds long, it shows me standing in the Red Room, not tied up, not screaming, just standing there, looking into the camera, smiling, and behind me, on the wall, spray painted in blood red, he made you watch. They don't need to hurt you. They don't need to chase you. They just need you to see it. Because once you've seen the Red Room, you're already in it. I used to think horror was about things jumping out at you. Loud noises, slasher flicks, faces in the mirror that don't belong to you. That kind of thing. But horror isn't about what jumps out. It's about what stays behind. It's about what doesn't stop when you close your eyes. It's about the camera still rolling, even after the credits. And now, I think I finally understand. Because I never escaped. I didn't leave my room for 3 days. Didn't eat. Didn't drink. I unplugged everything. Wi-Fi router, phone charger, even the fridge. The air in my room got stale and hot, like something living was in the walls. The mirror above my desk was fogged over, like I'd just taken a shower, but I hadn't. I hadn't even moved. The footage from the camcorder kept playing in my head, me smiling, standing in that room. And behind me, on the wall, new names were being written while the footage played, like they were being added live. The last name on the wall in that final clip, mine. Not just my first name, not just initials, my full name, date of birth, the coordinates of my house. I finally forced myself to leave the room when the smell started, like old metal, wet leaves, and meat left in the sun. It came from the closet. I didn't even have to open it. There was a hole that hadn't been there before. Not a tunnel, not even something human-sized. Just a deep, black hole, no bigger than a volleyball, in the back corner of the closet wall. Too perfect to be natural. I heard things inside it, scratching, typing, giggling. At one point, a finger came out. Just one. Pale, bone thin. The nail cracked and clicking against the closet floor, like it was drumming, waiting. I didn't scream. I didn't panic. Because I finally got it. The Red Room isn't a place. It's a door. And once you've seen it, once you've stared too long at the mask, the one that isn't a mask at all, it opens. In your home. Your head. Your mirror. And there's no going back. But that's not even the worst part. You remember Kyle? Gone. Brandon? Gone. Alex? Gone. Well, they came back. Not in person. Not at my front door or anything like that. But I started getting messages. Not from them. No. As them. At first, I thought it was just sick trolls. Kyle's Instagram came back online. Same handle. Same profile pic. But now, he was only posting black screens with timestamps. Each one was closer to the next. The last one. 10:44, 27 p.m. Smile. That was the exact time I looked into the camcorder footage and saw my own face smiling back at me. The one where my eyes weren't blinking. The one where I looked more puppet than person. Brandon's old Twitter account liked one of my posts from 2016. I went to his profile. It only had one tweet. The pain is better when they're watching. No likes, no replies. Just a location tag, a set of GPS coordinates. When I typed it into Google Maps, it dropped me outside my house. I started going insane, like genuinely unraveling. Every reflective surface in my room, mirror, phone screen, laptop lid, even the black of my TV screen when it was turned off, started showing frames. Not my reflection. Moments, little 1-second clips, of me in places I hadn't been yet. Me sitting at the end of my bed with my wrists duct taped and blood on my shirt. Me standing in the middle of the woods, barefoot, mouth open like I was screaming. Me crawling on all fours down the hallway, body twitching like a glitch in reality. And always, the camcorder, filming, sometimes in my hands, sometimes in someone else's. I called the cops again. I told them everything. I even played one of the videos I found, the one where Kyle gets dragged out of the red room, backwards, by something invisible. The officers looked disturbed, really disturbed, but then one of them said something that still makes my stomach churn. This file doesn't exist. There's nothing on the flash drive. He turned the screen toward me. Blank. 0 kilobytes. No files. And yet I could still hear it. Playing in my head. The screams. The dragging. The door slamming shut. That night, I went to Mr. Howard's house. One last time. I knew it was him. Or whatever he had become. That man was never just some tinfoil windowed freak with a basement full of CRT monitors. He was a gateway, a vessel, something using his shell to let that thing into our world. When I got to his house, it was empty, windows broken, door half open. The smell hit me like a wall. That same copper meat rotten damp wood mix that burns your nose and stains your clothes. The house didn't feel abandoned. It felt shed, like a snake left its skin behind. I walked down into the basement. Every step felt like descending through someone's throat. The lights were red. The chair was there. But this time, the room wasn't empty. A VHS camera was mounted in the corner, blinking red, recording. And there, on the wall, freshly painted, "You can't leave a room you never left." There was another hole in the wall, a larger one. The same perfect circle. This time, I went in. I wish I could tell you what was inside. I wish I could say I found some underground torture dungeon, or that I got answers. But what I found was a mirror, a full-length mirror, standing at the end of a concrete tunnel, lit with those low blue emergency lights, the kind you see on airplanes when they go dark. And in the mirror, I saw me. But not me now. Me, as I was in the red room footage, smiling, bleeding, and standing behind me, one hand on my shoulder, was him. Not a man, not a mask. Something that looked like it was built from other people. Hands stitched into shoulders, teeth lining the inside of its sleeves. Its face was a flat screen, and on that screen, it played the GoPro footage I found, looping, over and over, and then, in my own voice, but deeper, distorted, corrupted, it said, "You made them watch. Now let me record." The mirror cracked. I didn't run. I didn't scream, because I realized something I should have known from the beginning. I never found the red room on the dark web. It found me, and it used me like a camera. All the watching, all the footage, it was never for me. It was never for some twisted audience. It was to make you watch. So go ahead, scroll back up, remember the names, replay the scenes in your head. because now it knows you too. And if you see a camcorder sitting somewhere in your room tomorrow, don't touch it. Don't look through the lens, because if you do, the next name on that wall will be yours. You wanted the most disturbing version possible. Just remember, stories don't end when the words stop. Somewhere, right now, someone's watching you, and he's recording. I ordered the Ark of the Covenant from the dark web. 2 days after it arrived, I started seeing black vans parked in front of my house. I know this vid will be posted a bit late, but I was watching throughout the window. If I have someone in front of the door and not be assassined before post this video. I am joking. I am just a classic geek who is scared of telling these type of stories, but I am doing it for you, either late or early. Just hear me out, okay? I'm literally just a dude in his early 20s who thought it'd be funny to mess around on the dark web. And yeah, it was funny until it got very real. Like, I think people might be trying to kill me. Real. Anyway, let me take it back a few weeks. I'm a night owl. I'm always up late doing nothing productive. Just scrolling TikTok, binge watching YouTube. Shout out to Luna, and here's my story. You guys low-key influenced this mess. And going down conspiracy rabbit holes. You know how it is. So one night, I was watching this weird video. It was like a lost episode of some Disney Channel show from the early 2000s, but totally messed up. Like the characters' faces were melting and the laugh track was replaced with distant screaming. Creepy, but not that creepy. Just enough to get my curiosity going. The comments were full of people joking about cursed media, dark rituals, and the Ark of the Covenant. You know, the thing from Indiana Jones, the golden box that supposedly holds the 10 Commandments, or the literal presence of God, or something. Anyway, someone in the comments posted, if you really want to see something fudged up, go to this link on the dark web. They say you can order your own Ark of the Covenant replica, or maybe the real one. Depends on how serious you take it. Now, I'm not stupid. I know 99% of stuff on the dark web is scams, traps, or straight up illegal. But I also wasn't going to do anything illegal. I just wanted to look. So I booted up my VPN, fired up Tor, and copied the .onion link, the website. The site was called thesacredmarket.onion, and it looked ancient, like 2001 era HTML, black background, white times, new Roman text, and this weird Gregorian chanting music playing on a loop. There were categories like cursed relics, declassified artifacts, government disposal, biblical contraband. It all felt like LARPing for conspiracy theorists, until I clicked on biblical contraband. There it was, the Ark of the Covenant, limited supply, $1,500 in Bitcoin. Underneath the listing was this grainy photo of a large black wooden crate with glowing Hebrew letters painted on it. Not golden like in the movies, just this beat-up box that looked like it had been buried in a salt mine since World War II. The description said, recovered from a deep containment vault under Jerusalem, emits low-frequency hum, causes nightmares in proximity, keep covered when not in use, do not open. I don't know what came over me, man. I thought it was fake, like I was just buying a dumb prop to show off in a video or prank my roommates with. So yeah, I paid the $1,500 in Bitcoin. It was all the crypto I had, but I figured whatever. I wasn't using it, and this would make a killer TikTok story. Delivery. Fast forward 2 days. I get woken up by this loud thud outside my apartment door around 3 a.m. No knock, no delivery alert, just a sound like someone dropped a mini fridge outside. I open the door and there it is. A massive black crate, exactly like the photo. No shipping label, no branding, just sitting there. I look down the hallway. No delivery guy, no carts, nothing. Just silence. I live in an apartment complex in downtown Phoenix, Arizona, by the way. Like, I don't have a loading dock or anything. Someone carried this up 3 flights of stairs, by hand, in the middle of the night. The crate was cold. Not like room temp cold. Like, I've been in a meat locker cold. My fingers stuck to it for a second when I touched it. And here's the first thing that really set off red flags. When I tried to slide it inside, I felt a vibration coming from the box, like it was humming, not like an electrical buzz, more like the sound you hear when you're next to a big engine or a plane. I should have left it outside. I know that now, but curiosity got the best of me. I dragged it in and pushed it into the corner of my living room. My cat, Bimo, immediately hissed and ran under the couch. She wouldn't come out for hours. The nightmares. That night, I didn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I'd see the same thing. A desert. Empty. Nothing but cracked ground and wind. Then suddenly, this massive stone altar rises from the earth. On top of it is the same black box, but it's glowing red now, and these shadowy figures, like people made of ash, are kneeling around it. Then I'd hear a voice, deep, echoey, speaking in some language I didn't recognize, but I felt what it was saying. It wasn't words, it was emotions, rage, pain, command. When I woke up, I had a nosebleed. Never had one before in my life. My ears were ringing too, like I'd been at a concert. And then it got worse. The vans. The next night, around 2 a.m., I looked out my window and saw something that still messes with me. There was a black van parked across the street. No license plate. Just plain black, tinted windows. Engine running. I live on a quiet street. Nothing is open that late. But the van didn't move. Just sat there with the lights off. I figured maybe it was a delivery truck or some DoorDash dude waiting for an order. Whatever. I ignored it. But the next night, same van, same spot, same time. Night after that, 2 vans, one in front, one in the alley behind my building. I even went out and tried to walk past them. The second I got close, the front van's engine revved and it drove off. But I swear I saw someone in the passenger seat, just staring at me. Pale face, no expression, almost mannequin-like. And this is where it gets even crazier. My phone started acting up. My phone started glitching. Not in a haha, TikTok's down again way. I mean legit bugging out. Random screenshots appeared in my gallery of my apartment from angles I couldn't have taken. One photo showed me asleep on the couch with the crate in the background, slightly open. Except, I never opened it. I know I didn't. I haven't even touched the thing since the night it arrived. But in the photo, the lid is cracked open about an inch, and there's this faint red glow spilling out. I'm gonna stop here for now. I have no idea who or what I've brought into my apartment, but things are getting weirder by the hour. I haven't slept in 2 days. BMO won't come out from under the fridge. I've started hearing whispers when I walk past the crate, like actual whispering in a language I don't know. And the vans, they're still there, right now, parked across the street, watching. If you don't hear from me, don't ever try to order anything from the sacred market.onion. I'm not writing this for clout. I'm not writing it for karma followers or to go viral on TikTok. I'm writing it because I don't know what else to do anymore. It's like the moment I opened that box, I stopped living in reality, and now I'm in something else, something way worse. I haven't told anyone this out loud yet, because I know how insane it sounds. But I swear, everything I'm about to say actually happened. And if it hasn't happened to you yet, good. But read this all the way through, because once you see it, once you touch it, there's no going back. 48 hours after delivery, I was alone. My roommate Jake was out of town visiting his girlfriend in San Diego. My cat Bima was still hiding, refusing to eat, wouldn't drink, wouldn't even look at me. I hadn't slept in 2 days. The vans didn't leave. They rotated out. Different models. Sometimes they were matte black Sprinters. Sometimes they were white with no markings. I took pictures and sent them to a Discord server I'm in with a few online friends, and one of them replied, "Bro, that looks exactly like the unmarked surveillance vans they use in those old CIA ops. Even the antennas match." I laughed, but not because it was funny, because deep down, I knew they were right. I started to hear things, not whispers anymore, screams, screams muffled by distance, like someone was shouting through concrete walls or 6 feet of earth. The worst part, the screams were coming from inside the crate. I didn't want to open it. God knows I didn't. But something started happening that forced my hand. The rot. I woke up on the floor of my living room at 3:33 a.m. Same time every night now. No alarm, no sound. I just woke up, heart racing, drenched in sweat. But this time, there was a smell. Have you ever smelled something so wrong that it makes you feel sick to your stomach instantly? It wasn't just bad, it was rotten, like meat left in a hot car for a week, but sharper, metallic, like someone had been bleeding in the walls. It clung to the back of my throat. I looked over at the crate, and that was the first time I noticed the black stains on the carpet. They were seeping out from underneath. At first, I thought it was oil, until I touched it. It was thick, warm, sticky, blood, fresh blood, somehow pouring out from a box I hadn't touched. I did what anyone would do. I backed away and started calling the cops. But the second I hit call, my screen glitched, like visibly glitched. Colors inverted, camera light turned on, and then the call ended. Every number on my phone was deleted. My contacts were gone. My phone rang 5 minutes later. No caller ID. I answered it. There was silence, and then a voice, hoarse, whispering, trembling, said in a language I didn't know, "The lid has shifted. He sees you now." I opened it. I know I shouldn't have, but something in my brain broke. I remember walking toward it, not with panic, not with caution, almost like sleepwalking. I grabbed a crowbar from under the kitchen sink and wedged it into the seam. The lid lifted on its own. I didn't even have to pry. And I swear to you, the second the lid cracked open, the air in my apartment changed. Dead silent. Like all the noise in the world got vacuumed out. Inside. Wasn't what I expected. No golden tablets, no ancient scrolls, no Indiana Jones treasure. There was a child, the boy in the box. He was curled up, knees to chest, naked and pale, like he'd never seen sunlight. Eyes rolled back in his skull, skin almost translucent. You could see every vein like they were drawn on with ink. He wasn't dead, but he wasn't alive either. Breathing shallow, lips cracked, whispering something, but his mouth wasn't moving. The whispering was in my head. Help me. Please. Help me. Kill him before he wakes. I stumbled backward and hit the floor. The lid slammed shut by itself. I don't remember anything after that, except waking up in the tub, fully clothed, soaking wet, with my wrists bruised, like someone had grabbed me hard and held me down. There were handprints on the mirror, child-sized, but made of ash, the disappearances. The day after I opened the box, people on my block started going missing. First, it was this homeless guy who lived under the 7-Eleven sign down the street. I used to give him my spare change every time I walked by. Gone. His tent was there, but he was missing. All his stuff still inside. His dog tied to the pole, barking and barking until animal control came. Then it was the barista from the Starbucks I go to every day. Emma. Super sweet. She always used to write dumb drawings on my cup, like skulls or pentagrams as a joke. She just vanished. No call, no show. The store manager told me her apartment was found wide open, door off the hinges, inside torn to shreds like an animal got in. Blood on the walls, but no Emma. No body. I went home and checked the crate. This time, the lid was open again. Just a crack. And inside, something new. A name tag, still splattered with blood. The thing in the walls. I started hearing it move. Whatever was in that box wasn't staying in the box. I'd hear it crawling in the walls at night. Slow scraping sounds, clicking like insect legs on drywall, wet dragging like something heavy being pulled along tile. I tried filming it. I set up a live stream on Twitch and left my phone pointed at the crate overnight. It got flagged and taken down in less than 3 minutes. Violating terms of service, graphic content, with the footage saved to my phone. In the clip, at exactly 3:33 a.m., the lid of the crate lifts and a long gray hand slowly reaches out. Not human. Too many joints, fingers too long, skin like a dead eel. Then it pulls itself out. But there was no body, just the hand. It crawled across the floor like a spider, knocking over my lamp, my bookshelf, and then slithering up the wall like gravity didn't matter. Then the footage cut out. When I checked the wall where it climbed, the wallpaper had peeled away. Burned handprints seared into the paint. The drywall was hissing like it was melting. My roommate came home. Jake came back yesterday. He walked in, saw the crate, and made a joke like, "Dude, what the hell is this? A coffin? Are we summoning demons now?" I begged him not to touch it. I told him I wasn't well, that I needed help, that we needed to leave. He laughed, grabbed a beer from the fridge, sat on the couch. Then he opened the crate. I watched Jake go completely still, his head tilted, jaw slack, eyes wide open like someone had hit pause on his entire brain. I screamed his name. I tried to grab him, and then he looked at me, dead in the eyes, and whispered in a voice that wasn't his, "He is not in the box anymore." Then he started screaming, not yelling, screaming like a man being burned alive. His skin started bubbling. His eyes rolled back. He clawed at his own face until it bled. And then, swear to God, He folded. I don't even know how else to describe it. His bones collapsed inward like paper being crumpled. Limbs bent backwards. Neck snapped sideways like a rag doll. And then he disappeared. No blood, no body, just gone. Right now. The vans are still outside, more of them now. I counted 5 tonight, and one of them, I'm almost sure, is missing its front windshield. Because when I looked earlier, there was no one inside, just a pair of red eyes floating in the darkness. The crate is in the corner, open now, all the way open, but empty, and I can feel it in the apartment, breathing with me, moving behind the walls, watching. My cat is dead. I found her in the sink, eyes missing, body stretched longer than it should be able to go, like someone grabbed both ends and pulled. I don't think I'm human anymore. Not fully. I haven't eaten in 3 days. I don't feel hunger. My reflection flickers. My eyes look too dark. I hear him speaking when I close my eyes now. And sometimes I answer, he's not in the box. He's in me. And now, you've read this. You've seen it. You felt it. It knows you exist. Lock your doors. Don't open any packages. And whatever you do, don't listen to the whispers at 3:33 a.m. I'll write again, if I can. I'm writing this from a motel off Route 666. Yes, that's a real highway. And no, I'm not joking. Look it up. It runs through New Mexico. Used to be called that before the government renamed it due to public concern. Funny how they try to rename things that carry too much weight, isn't it? I've been here for 2 days. The room smells like mildew and bleach. The ceiling fan creaks like it's struggling to hang itself. The lights flicker even when they're off. The mirror is covered with the same ash handprints I told you about. I didn't leave. I didn't choose to run. He made me. What happened the night Jake died after Jake collapsed into whatever folded shape he became? I blacked out. Not fainted. Not passed out. Blacked out. Like there's a chunk of my memory that's been filed out of my skull with a hot razor. When I came to, I was standing in the middle of my apartment, completely naked, soaking in a pool of something black and steaming. Not blood, not water, something thicker. It smelled like tar mixed with sulfur and dead rats. The lights were out. My electronics were melted, literally melted, like someone took a blowtorch to the TV and my PC. My Xbox was liquefied. My laptop had claw marks in the screen that hadn't been there before. And the worst part? My neighbors. Every single one. Gone. No one remembers them. I walked outside. It was dead silent. No one in the hallways. No sounds from the other units. I banged on doors, screamed into the hallway, even tried breaking into the old woman's place 2 doors down. Nothing. Apartment was empty, dusty, like no one had lived there for years. But I've shared walls with that woman, heard her cough through the vents every morning for 6 months. Her TV was always blasting reruns of Matlock. She was real. And now, it's like she was never born. Even the property manager didn't remember her. When I called the office and asked where the residents went, they told me I was the only tenant assigned to that floor. That's when I realized he was erasing people, like files on a corrupted drive. No blood, no screams, no bodies, just deletion. I started seeing the mouthless man. It started in reflections, bathroom mirrors, puddles, even my own damn shadow. There would be this tall, lanky figure standing right behind me, always just barely visible in the reflection, always with his face turned slightly toward me, wearing a dark suit, no tie, shoes covered in what looked like red clay or dried blood, pale, like paper soaked in bleach, and his face, no mouth, not covered, not stitched, just missing, smooth skin where a mouth should be, and yet I could hear him whispering, not out loud, but in my skull. You took her from the pit, you opened the lock, you broke the veil, now the agreement is blood. My mom called me. I hadn't spoken to her in months. We aren't close. She lives in Florida, the kind of woman who spends all day on Facebook Marketplace and believes in essential oils more than doctors. She called me crying, not regular crying, hysterical, the kind of crying where someone sounds like they're choking on their own lungs. She said my dad had disappeared, vanished from their bed while they were watching TV. 1 second, he was beside her. The next, gone. TV still on, remote still warm from his hand. She kept saying the same sentence over and over. There was this voice in the wall. It told me, he doesn't belong to you anymore. Then the line cut. When I called back, it said her number didn't exist. I went to her Facebook profile. Gone. Deleted. No history, no tags, no photos. No one remembered her. Even her friends list was empty. It's like she never existed. I went to the Walmart photo center, used facial recognition to try and scan a photo of her I had on my old phone. The system said, no match found, like her face was invalid. The file I found, somehow, my phone was still turning on. There was a new file in my gallery, one I didn't put there. It was a video, a few seconds long. At first, it looked like static, just black and white noise. Then, it began to sharpen. There was a hallway, concrete walls, flickering lights, wet floor, like it had just been hosed down. And at the end of the hall was the ark. Same box, same Hebrew symbols, glowing faintly red. And kneeling in front of it was me, but not really me, because the version of me in the video had no skin, just muscle, exposed nerves, a face twisted in permanent screaming, except no sound, just the noise of bones being chewed. Then the screen flashed, and in big red letters it said, "Contract initiated, recovery in progress, do not interfere." The motel room. So yeah, I ran, grabbed whatever I could, mostly junk, drove without stopping for 12 hours straight, ended up in New Mexico because it was the only direction the GPS didn't glitch when I tried navigating. Checked into a motel with cash, didn't give my name, didn't even use my ID, and still, he found me. He followed. First night, I woke up to find the doorknob twisting on its own, like someone on the other side was trying to come in but didn't want to make a sound. Then I heard footsteps on the ceiling, like someone was crawling upside down across the panels. When I turned on the light, all the furniture had been rearranged. My bed was in the corner. The mirror was facing the wall. The bathroom door was sealed shut with skin. Yes, actual flesh stretched across the frame, like someone had nailed a sheet of human skin over the opening. I took a photo, sent it to an old friend from high school who's into forensic pathology. He responded one word, infant. I didn't reply. What the motel clerk told me. I tried checking out this morning. The guy at the front desk, mid-40s, crooked teeth, greasy hair, smelled like kerosene, looked me dead in the face and said, "You didn't check in." I said, "Yes, I did." Room 108. He shook his head slowly and said, "There is no room 108. I turned around. The hallway I'd walked down 2 days ago. Gone. Just a concrete wall. I ran back to my room. The number was gone. Just a blank door. I kicked it open. Everything was gone. No furniture, no bed, no lights. Just the ark, sitting in the center, waiting. I saw myself. I've been awake for 72 hours now. I don't blink anymore. My pupils don't dilate properly. I've started hearing my own voice in other rooms, whispering, telling me things I shouldn't know. I looked in the mirror earlier, and for a split second, I saw something that froze me solid. Me, hanging from the ceiling, neck broken, eyes gouged out, flies crawling from my mouth, and for just a second, he smiled at me. No mouth, but he smiled. Right now, there's scratching inside the walls of this motel. It hasn't stopped in 4 hours. I can hear breathing under the carpet. My phone battery hasn't dropped below 100% in 2 days. The charging port is melted shut. Every app is gone except the camera. It opens automatically every 5 minutes, films for 33 seconds, then saves itself under a folder labeled Tithes. I think I'm being harvested. I think we all are. The ark was never meant to be found. It's not a relic. It's a trap, a keyhole. And I turned the key. And now, something is walking free that hasn't walked in our world in thousands of years. I feel it in my bones, in my blood, in the reflections that aren't quite right. He's here, and if you've read this far, he knows you now, too. They finally found me again last night. It wasn't the vans this time. It wasn't the mouthless man, or the blood under the door, or the red eyes watching from the closet I duct taped shut. Number. It was worse. It was myself. But not me. Not really. Something else, wearing me like a borrowed coat, and the way it smiled when it opened the door without touching it. I knew right then I wasn't going to make it through the week. The motel collapsed. Sometime after I wrote part 3, the motel vanished. No, I don't mean it burned down. I mean vanished, like someone erased the file that held it in the code of reality. It happened just after 3:33 a.m. Of course it did. I was lying in the bathtub with all the lights off, phone flashlight jammed into a cracked bottle of water to make a poor man's lantern. Suddenly, I felt the walls shiver, not shake, shiver, like the whole building had goosebumps. And then the walls began to fold in on themselves, like paper under fire. They didn't make noise. They didn't crush anything. They just receded. I watched the door flatten into the floor like a sticker melting off a lunchbox. The ceiling peeled away into sky, and then I was sitting in the middle of a desert, alone, with him. He was wearing my face, same hoodie, same shoes, same scar under my eyebrow, but it wasn't me. His eyes were wrong, way too wide, no color, just that milky static gray, like TV snow pressed into a socket. His mouth was back, but it didn't move when he talked. It just hung open, flapping soundless words into my skull. I was in the box, and now you are. He reached out, and my body stopped obeying me. I didn't move. I got moved, like something invisible was yanking me toward the duplicate with hooks inside my brain. I started screaming, clawing at the dirt, my own face, anything I could get my fingers in, ripped up my nails, broke one off clean, still couldn't move. I was inches from him. I could smell my own breath coming off his skin, but it wasn't my breath. It was rotted, like death breathing back into its own mouth. And then he whispered, "You will feed him tonight." The field of mirrors. I blinked, and I was somewhere else. No sound, just air so thick It felt like you had to chew it before breathing. I was in a room the size of a football stadium. The walls were mirrors. Hundreds, maybe thousands of mirrors. Different shapes. Antique. Cracked. Clouded. Covered in fingerprints and blood smears and bite marks. Some had teeth embedded in the glass. Others pulsed like flesh. But every single mirror showed a different version of me. Not like alternate timelines. Not like what-if versions. These were corpses. Variations of me, mutilated in ways that made no sense. One was missing all his skin, but was still blinking. One had wires growing from his mouth into his eyes like someone had sewn his senses together. One was hanging upside down, spinning slowly, his spine wrapped around his neck like a scarf. They all watched me. They were me, and they hated me. I could feel it. We suffered so you could open it. We burned so you could feed him. You unsealed the gate. Now you become the lock. And then the mirrors began to crack, one by one, like something inside them was trying to get out, the feeding. This part is hard to describe, not because I don't remember it, but because my hands are shaking so hard as I type this. Somewhere beyond the mirrors, I heard this sound, like thousands of people whispering my name at once, but not out loud. It was inside the bones of the world, and the room shifted. The floor fell away and left me hanging in a void made of meat and screaming. I was suspended, naked, by hooks made of human teeth. No chains, just long strands of hair, braided tightly around my wrists and ankles, pulling me upward toward a hole in the sky. Inside the hole was him. But it wasn't a he in the human sense. It was the shape of silence, the outline of pain, the shadow of God's first mistake. He opened his mouth, and inside it were other mouths. Mouths eating mouths, layered infinitely into blackness, and each mouth was full of people, squirming, screaming, being chewed forever. I saw children, entire families, people I knew, people from my high school, my ex, my boss, my cousin who died in a car crash last year. They were all in there, alive, endless, feeding him. He looked at me and said, without speaking, "You open the box. You are the bridge. You are the butcher. You are the door. And now, you are the meal." I tried to scream, but my jaw unhinged and fell off, like it wasn't mine anymore. I saw myself from above, bleeding and shaking and choking on my own tongue. My spine unzipped itself. My eyes popped inward like grapes squeezed backward. And then I woke up. In a Denny's. The Denny's. Yeah, you read that right. I came to in a booth at a Denny's off Interstate 25 in Colorado. It was 4:41 a.m. Rain outside. Restaurant totally empty, except for two people, the waitress and an old man in a booth across from me. The waitress looked like my dead sister, but her name tag said Megan. She handed me a coffee I didn't order and said, "You looked hungry. You've been screaming for 20 minutes." The old man was eating raw meat with his bare hands, but no one noticed. His fingers were bone white, teeth like broken porcelain. He chewed without blinking, without swallowing, just endless grinding. His throat was full of chewing sounds, and his eyes never left mine. He stood up, walked over, sat across from me, and said, "You survived the first feeding. That means he likes your flavor." He handed me a napkin. There was something written in blood. "You're not supposed to live, but you did. Now you owe him." Then he vanished, like literally vanished. No door opened, no wind, just gone. The waitress poured me more coffee and smiled again, and she whispered, "Part of you is still in the box. Now I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know if this body is mine. My voice sounds wrong. My hands move too smoothly. My dreams are filled with people I've never met, begging me to die so they can wake up. There's a mirror in my motel bathroom right now. I smashed it 5 times. It keeps healing. I saw my reflection smile at me earlier, even though I wasn't smiling. It mouthed something. I wrote it down. You are the box. We are inside you, and we're still hungry. If you've read this far, you've already started the process. The box doesn't need to be delivered. It just needs to be known. It's in your house now. It's in your walls. It's watching you blink. Check your mirrors. Check the timestamp on your dreams. Check the photos on your phone that you don't remember taking. He's there. I don't know where this will end. Maybe this is already the ending. Or maybe I've been dead since part 1, and this is just my mind dragging its nails across eternity's walls to stop from sliding into hell. But the truth is, I'm not alone anymore. And neither are you. The hospital that wasn't there. It started when I woke up in a hospital bed with my ankles zip-tied to the frame and my mouth filled with gauze. A nurse was standing over me, only she didn't look like a nurse. She was wearing the uniform, sure, but her skin looked drawn on, like the texture was wrong. Plastic, smooth, but moving. She leaned over and whispered into my left ear with a voice that bubbled, like someone speaking through boiling water. You made a mistake. You didn't die when you were supposed to. I tried to scream, but my jaw wouldn't move. The gauze wasn't gauze. It was flesh. My own tongue, sewn into my throat with spider silk. I swear to you, I saw one of them crawling out of my nostril. A pale, twitching, almost transparent spider, the size of a nickel, dragging a thread behind it that slid down my cheek like a teardrop. I passed out again. When I woke up, I was outside, in the parking lot of a hospital that didn't exist. There were no signs, no lights, just a building behind me made of cracked red bricks, slowly unbuilding itself. Bricks crumbling back into dust, windows melting, the smell of iron in the air like a butcher shop behind a church. My wrists had teeth marks, not mine. The broadcast, that night, the box spoke to me again. No sound, no text, not even visions. It hijacked the radio. I was driving, don't know where, just driving. The road looked like it was bleeding, long black asphalt veins pumping beneath a sky that flickered like a broken screen. Every station I tried played the same thing. A voice, my voice, screaming. He's inside the wires. He's crawling through the networks. He's watching your thoughts. If you're listening, it's already too late. Then static, then silence, then a slow, grinding hum, like a coffin full of teeth being dragged across concrete. I threw the phone out the window. It was still ringing. The house that grew in my chest. Somewhere in Utah, middle of nowhere, I stopped, because I felt it. Movement inside my ribcage. Not metaphorically, literally, like something was building in there. I tore my shirt off and looked in the rearview mirror. There were tiny windows pushing up beneath the skin of my chest. No blood, no pain, just architecture. A house growing in my body. Every breath made the front door of the chest house swing open and shut, revealing shadows inside. They moved, they whispered, they stared back. Every time I coughed, I spat out sawdust. Every time I blinked, I saw blueprints, not drawn, branded into the backs of my eyes. The house was identical to the one from my childhood. The one where my brother vanished. The one we don't talk about anymore, because it burned down, with nothing left but a black box in the basement. I met the collector. 3 days ago, maybe 4. Time doesn't work right anymore. I met someone. A man. No, not a man. He was wearing a man, like a child wears their dad's jacket. Too big, too clumsy, but still pretending. He had no eyes, just wet sockets full of reflection, like when you look into a puddle and see something looking back. He introduced himself as the collector. He said he cleans up after the feasts. He told me the ark was never supposed to be found by anyone who bleeds. It was a trap laid by something ancient, something that feeds on patterns, not flesh, something that eats history by convincing people to carry pieces of its shape in their minds. You're a carrier now, he told me. You're dripping it everywhere. People you pass forget how to spell their names. Their mothers are never born. Their cities fold into dirt. I asked him what I was supposed to do. He smiled, pushed a needle through my temple, said, "Let it finish growing, then feed him one last time." The feast, tonight, was the final meal. I didn't choose the guests. They were already in my contacts. 10 people, my old middle school gym teacher, an ex-girlfriend I still dream about, a Twitch streamer I only watched once, a Lyft driver from 3 years ago, the nurse who held my hand during a panic attack, my second grade classmate who broke their leg falling off the monkey bars, a neighbor whose name I never learned but always nodded at, a girl I matched with on Bumble but never messaged, a pastor I saw on TikTok, and you. I don't know how the box knows who to pick. It doesn't matter, because I saw them in the mirrors, in the box, in the mouth. One by one, they walked through the mirror in my chest, eyes blank, feet bleeding. No sound but the crunch of their souls being chewed by a thing that lives in the wrong direction. Each one fed it. Each one screamed like a choir that learned the wrong hymn. Each one erased. I don't remember their names now, but I know their shapes. You're still here. You kept reading, even after everything, even after the warnings, the signs, the gut feeling that told you to stop. That makes you part of it now. You're next. Or worse, you already were. Go check your bathroom mirror. Do it. Look at your eyes. You'll see something there. A flicker. A twitch. That's not a glitch. That's him waking up. He's climbing through your optic nerve, sliding down into your spinal cord, settling into your dreams, making a nest behind your thoughts. And soon, you'll wake up with dust in your mouth, with blueprints in your blood, with a door inside your chest where your heart used to be. You'll feel the urge to write, to post, to share the story, and you'll think it's your idea, but it won't be. It'll be his, the final shape. I'm no longer a person. I'm no longer flesh. I'm a broadcast, a blueprint, a virus carried by memory. I am the mouth now, and I'm speaking through you. Close your eyes. Listen. Can't you hear it? That hum in your walls? That soft knocking behind your eyelids? It's not your heartbeat. It's the box. It's open, and he's coming.